Okay guys, so I am sure this is not a video I wanted to make, you guys. And I almost didn't. I was almost just gonna like keep it all to myself and not tell anybody, but after talking to my husband and praying about it, I've just decided we're gonna discuss this because I share my daily life. This is part of my daily life. This is what's been going on lately. So things have been crazy, you guys. And it's like we went from good news to bad news to good news to horrible news, and it's just been really, really rough. So I don't know those of you who remember any other videos that I have done, especially like as of recently. Let me backtrack a little bit. So as of recently, I've kind of been absent from the vlogs. The vlogs have been kind of sucky, to be honest. I haven't filmed a ton. What I have filmed has been sporadic and random and just kind of weird, I guess. For the last week, I've just been mentally somewhere else. And so going back to this other point, for those of you who remember, about 8 months ago, I had a miscarriage. And I didn't talk about it at the time. It was months later before I even mentioned it or talked about it or anything. Well, on January the 6th, I was feeling really strange. I just wasn't feeling good. And so I took a pregnancy test and it was positive. So I am pregnant, but we found out today that I am actually having another miscarriage. Things kind of weren't going super great. I noticed that the line on the pregnancy test was not getting any darker, which instantly concerns me, because that's what happened the last time. So I was kind of just watching it. I was taking one every day, kind of freaking out, like, why isn't this line getting darker? It was like a barely there line. Well, last night I started bleeding, and then today it was worse, like full on just bleeding, and I knew what was happening, but the cramping was so bad that I went to the emergency room. There is no footage for today's vlog. There's just not. I spent the day hurting and in the ER, and this morning when I noticed the excessive bleeding and knew what was happening, I took my very last digital pregnancy test, and of course, this is, let me have a little focus. This is what it, of course, that's what it says. Pregnant 1 to 2, meaning I'm 1 to 2 weeks, I guess. I don't know. But I got to the ER, and this was like, I was really hopeful, like maybe there's still something there, But they didn't do an ultrasound, but they got me in, and they did the examination and everything, and they checked my HCG levels. And she wasn't concerned about the bleeding. She said bleeding during early pregnancy can be totally normal. But my HCG levels, which is the human chorionic gonadotropin, it is the hormone that you produce during pregnancy. You will only produce this hormone if you are pregnant. So that's what the HCG is, for those of you who don't know. So my HCG level was at 23. Normal HCG for where I'm at should be well over 1,000. So and with the bleeding and the faint positive pregnancy test, she just said, you need to go get rechecked in a few days and see if your levels are doubling. But, she said that it doesn't look good. That she's like, I'm pretty sure you're miscarrying. So I start crying, and I'm just really, really sad because this was not a planned pregnancy. We were going through an adoption, and of course, pregnancy was not something that was in the cards. We weren't planning on this, but we wanted the baby. Even if it meant that we couldn't adopt right now, we wanted the baby, and it's just really, really hard that this has happened again. Like, this happened about a year ago. It wasn't as bad a year ago, though. I feel like I got that positive test and then it went away, and it wasn't as big of a deal. But I never got a positive on a digital last time, but to see the positive on the clear blue, knowing that currently right now as I'm talking to you I am pregnant, but that in 4 to 5 days time I likely will not be. So it's just really hard. She said there's still a chance things could go okay, but she said it's less than 1% that you're not having a miscarriage. So I was just like, wow, like, it just sucks. It really sucks. So that's why the vlogs have been so wonky, and that's why I've been so out of it, and it's making me question everything, because never in my life did I think I wanted another biological child. It wasn't in the cards for us. We didn't think we did. And then this pregnancy happened, and we were like, maybe we do. You know, maybe we do want another biological child. And it's like, well, what do we do in terms of the adoption? Because obviously, if we were really pregnant, which I am, but if it were a successful pregnancy, we wouldn't be able to adopt. And then after Narquise's eye appointment, I got the schedule for their therapy sessions, for Narquise and Aiden's therapy. And their therapy every single week is a good 6 hours outside of school, outside of the home, that I'm gonna have to take them to. And I'm just feeling very overwhelmed with trying to adopt right now. And my husband and I have not discussed this in depth. We don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm feeling like I can't do the adoption right now. I'm feeling like the stress is too much, that, you know, I feel like maybe I need to focus on the kids that I have, that I need to focus on Narquise and Aiden and getting them the therapy that they need and really just amping that up. And I need to focus on the girls, and I need to focus on just, there's so many other things. And when you're adopting, you have to think of so many other factors other than, well, yes, this child needs a home. You have to look at your kids. You have to look at how they're handling it. You have to evaluate yourself. Am I emotionally stable enough to handle an adoption right now? In this moment, I'm not. I'm just saying all this because I don't know where this is going. We have not made a full decision yet. We don't know what we're going to do. But right now, the adoption is inevitably on hold. We've had a lot of money donated, and we've used a lot of it to get this home study up and off the ground. But before we use another penny, we want to make sure, you know, and if we don't pursue the adoption, you know, I don't know, I haven't gotten that far mentally yet, but we want to refund us whatever is left. You know, we want to refund the money. We don't want to keep it. That would be dishonest, and another family could definitely use it. I'm definitely a firm believer that if we feel the Lord ultimately telling us to back out of this adoption, that He will provide a family for when He'll find someone for her. But, and you know, emotions are high today. Emotions are really high. I'm cramping. I have a headache. I'm so sad. I'm so sad that this pregnancy is also like failing. Like, it's not a successful pregnancy. And that's really, really hard. You know, it's never an easy thing to go through. So I just wanted to be real with you guys. I already told my family. I told family what's going on so they know. So it's not like I'm blabbing this and I haven't told family or anything. But I just need some prayers, you know. And my husband and I were taking it harder than we thought. Because initially, when we found out, we were just so shocked, like, oh no, this can't happen. But then after a few days, we were really excited for what God had planned. And I don't know, if we don't adopt, maybe there's a 5th biological child for us in the future. I don't know at this point. It's just going to take a lot of prayer and a lot of time and a lot of patience. But I wanted to come in and explain a little bit about what's going on. I know I don't owe you guys an explanation. I know that this is a very private thing, and I know some of you are gonna be like, well, you don't have to share. I wanted to share because I didn't share with my other ones when it happened. And miscarriage is a very real thing for me. Like, it happens more than I would like to admit that it does. This is my 3rd miscarriage. I had 1 miscarriage before Zoe was born. I had a miscarriage. No, this is my 4th. Oh, this is my 4th miscarriage. I had a miscarriage before Piper was a year old, and then I had another miscarriage about 8 months ago. So, and for those of you who are like, how are you getting pregnant so often? It's just my husband and I get very, very ill with birth control. And my husband has a latex allergy, so let's just leave it at that. We're careful, but you know, as careful as we can possibly be. So at any rate, that is what has been going on. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of come in and explain things to you guys. I keep staring at this test, this last little like inkling of this child. I'm sad, you know, you wonder like who would they have been, you know, like what would they have looked like. And gosh, oh, my 4th miscarriage. My 4th. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what's like, and I do have severe polycystic ovarian syndrome, and you know, maybe I'm just not healthy enough and my progesterone levels are all over the place, and I don't know. It could be a number of things that is going on, but I would like your prayers. I'm sorry there's no vlog today. I couldn't emotionally handle it, and I don't think I've been able to emotionally handle vlogging for the last week, to be honest with you. I've just kind of thrown something together, and honestly I think I missed Saturday entirely. It's been hard, but I also think it's important to share this experience, because you know, other people may go through it too, and it's important to know that you're not alone. And ultimately, during times like this, I'm really clinging to my faith more so than ever, because it's a big thing. It's like, what do we do? Like, we just have so much prayer. We don't know what we're gonna do at this point. So just prayers that God makes things clear, and that we can get through this, because it's gonna be a rough couple days, especially as I wait. And you know what, the doctor, I feel like she was kind of giving me false hope, and I was getting a little angry at her, because I'm like, she's like, well, bleeding can be totally normal during pregnancy, everything could still be fine. And I'm sitting there like, lady, I'm not stupid, I know what a miscarriage looks like. I'm having a miscarriage. Like, don't tell me that things are going to be okay. That false hope isn't something I need right now. Like, I don't need false hope. Like, this is my 4th miscarriage. I understand what's going on with me. And the main reason I even went into the ER, no, you can't stop a miscarriage. I understand that. But I went in, one, I wanted to make sure it wasn't an ectopic pregnancy. I needed to know my HCG levels, and I needed to see if it was low progesterone, and that's why I was, you know, having the bleeding. Because low progesterone, they can fix that, but with the HCG levels being as low as they are, I am confident in saying that this is a miscarriage. And I did not bleed at all with either one of my girls, which were my 2 healthy pregnancies. Nothing. So I know what this is. I'm not allowing myself to be in denial or gather false hope, but I think it's frustrating, and it's really hard. I don't know what else to say about it. You know, initially, like, I did film everything. You know, I filmed taking the first test, and I filmed my husband's reaction, and you know, I filmed all of that. And it's just hard, because you make all these plans, you know, and you think that God just suddenly gave you a new, like, path, and maybe he still did, I don't know, but I'm shocked at how much I wanted this kid. Like, I'm shocked that, you know, I was so into actually being pregnant again, because I didn't think that was something I ever wanted to experience again. But we'll see. We're just reevaluating everything. We have to look at the boys' therapy, and well, of course the children that we have to take priority. They are our priority, and they are, you know, they matter the most to us right now, and we have to focus on them. We have to focus on ourselves. And I'm not saying the adoption's not happening, but I really, at this point, if you ask me right now in this moment, I'm like, I can't, and that has to be okay if I can't do it. It just has to be okay, you know. So I just wanted to come in and explain to you guys, this is not a happy vlog, I know. I just wanted to explain where today's vlog was, because I didn't film at all. And we're very sad, and I'm in a lot of pain. Piper and Narquise stayed home today because I couldn't physically get them to school this morning. I was cramping so bad I couldn't get them to school. Like I couldn't get in the van, I couldn't drive them. And I have the best friend in the entire world, and she got off work today and took me to the emergency room. And I am so thankful for her. It was a big help to like have her there and everything. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog before I start crying again. But I have to have faith that it's going to be okay, and that God has a plan, and I don't know what that plan is at this point, but I think focusing on our family and focusing on our health and just taking it one day at a time is pretty much all we can do. So I will talk to you guys later, tomorrow, probably tomorrow. I'm trying to get past this. I've realized tonight that spending time with my kids and really focusing on them and putting all of my energy into them, it's helping already. Like, it's already helping, and it's helping me feel grateful for my kids. You know, I'm so lucky that I have 4 beautiful children, and I know there's so many people who have miscarriages that can't even have one, and my heart just goes out to you, because I have 4 kids, and I swear it hurts just as bad as the first time. It never gets any easier. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and I hope you guys are all doing awesome, and prayers are much appreciated.